came back Sunday morning. Just got out of the store. Well, it's early Sunday afternoon now. Wasn't too awful crowded, but the people there were morons. And I say morons to be as politely as I can. Nobody was watching where they were going. They were just running around wherever they went, looking straight ahead. And when I was at the checkout, I had a woman literally try to cut in front of me. Yeah, that didn't go over too well. I think I kind of scared her the way I was glaring at her, but truth be told, the knucklehead deserved it for trying to cut in line like that. I'm not a huge fan of people who do stuff like that. I don't know of anyone who is. But let's get to the point at hand. I might call this Sideshow Jill Stein in lieu of, instead of, Sideshow Bob. Things have not been going her way in her recount efforts, if you haven't noticed. For starters, Wisconsin said, we're not going to do a hard hand recount, get over it. So she took it to the court, trying to force them to do a hard recount. And the reason why is they said, no, there's no sign of tampering with the machines. Everything's good. We've checked. But she's still whining, and she took it to court. Court said no. It's up to them. Okay. And I think she's still fighting it. I don't know. I haven't really looked on that. With Michigan. And I'm not surprised by this one either. Michigan is fighting back. The Attorney General has filed to try to contest her request for a recount. And she's still wanting not just a recount, but a hard recount. And Michigan's not buying it. They think it's going to be a waste of time and money. And it's going to cost more, and it's going to cost, I forget how much, for the counties to do this out of their pocket. And again, there's no evidence, like I said, no evidence of foul play. They just certified it the week of Thanksgiving. I think is, depending on who you talk to, is either Wednesday before or Black Friday. So, I mean, we're talking a little over a week ago, they finally decided to say, yeah, this is our final results. We're certifying it. Checked the machines and everything. Nothing went wrong. And she's still fighting it. And they're fighting back. I'm not surprised by that. I kind of figured that one. What's thrown me for the loop is Pennsylvania. I figured they would kind of be easy going all for it. Let's do everything we can. I think they were was it not they of the three states had the highest difference between Trump and Clinton. And I kind of figured they would, sure, let's go ahead and let's do a recount. But there were some certain hurdles. Mainly, the big hurdles were two of them. You have to file with each individual county, and the candidates cannot file themselves. The voters have to. And I think that was the big catch on that. And, had she have done these efforts immediately, began the efforts immediately after the election, she probably would have been fine. She probably would have had 75% of the counties on board to do a recount. She waited till, right before the deadline to try and organize this thing. And shocker, I know, it didn't go over too well. The big development is, and this started last night, she had actually filed a lawsuit trying to force the state of Pennsylvania to go ahead. Well, late last night, it came out she was going to suspend the efforts. I think it's going to cost $1 million to fight this. Trump was fighting back, contesting. It was becoming a melee. She couldn't afford the recount effort, or to fight with Michigan, fight with Wisconsin to try to get her way. So now she decided she's going to quit that route. Instead, she's going to try to get the federal government to step in and force Pennsylvania to violate their own campaign or their own voter recount laws. And it's not because she can prove tampering with machines or wrongdoing or anything else. It's because people are whining and crying they didn't get their way. And it's because she's trying to make a power play on a fractured Democrat Party. That's all it is, like I've said before. And I'm surprised Pennsylvania's not on board, but they seem to be kind of like, it's over, get over it, you lost. And I think the federal government's going to do the exact same thing. Because if they could find proof, there were some people, find the smoking good. There were people voting who shouldn't legally have been allowed to. That would be one thing. If they could find, the voting machines, there was an issue with them. Some sort of issue that would account, say, yes, we need to do not just a recount, but a hard hand recount, they would go for it. But all it is like I said, whining and crying because they didn't get their way, followed up with trying to make a name for herself and her party. And I just don't see the federal government, the federal courts, anything else going for it. The states aren't really going for it. Why would they? The court in Wisconsin didn't go for it. That's why she's having to fight it some more. All signs are pointing toward they're not going to help Jill Stein out to get her way. They're not going to help Hillary Clinton. They're pretty much saying, it's over with, deal with it. You didn't get the result you wanted. These didn't get the result they wanted. It's over with. 4 years, suck it up, deal with it. That's what I'm getting out of it. Am I particularly happy with the results of the election? No. It ain't going to change the fact that the next 4 to 8 years, we're stuck with Donald Trump. Unless someone is stupid enough to go after him, and I think that would be a boneheaded move. Unless he gets arrested or something, prosecuted, impeached, whatever, we're stuck with it. And I'm not sure necessarily out of the options, it may not be a bad thing because I've looked at some of the people who would replace him if he were taken out of the game, whether it be assassination like some people are talking or anything else. And I think he might be more level-headed and less polarizing than some of the, the alternative replacements. Even if he doesn't have a filter on his mouth. So, let's make the best of it. Let's grin and bear it. And, buy craft beer? I don't know. And remember that we do this again, and we're going through this again in another 3 years. Anyway, about home now. I've got a nice sandwich from Subway. I know, Subway and nice, same sentence, but it's food. It's relatively cheap. And I didn't have to do anything but, pay, and I guess I can get behind that. Anyway, later.